Good afternoon, this is Brian. Today is Wednesday, March 4th, 2026, and I'm here in Tierrasanta once again at the Tierrasanta recreation area. I am going to return for the first time in a few years, almost 3.5 years, East Shepherd Canyon. Already been on a couple of short hikes with a friend earlier this morning, all the way up in Cleveland National Forest. I'm assuming those videos will be up before this one, because usually when I film with other people, I usually don't film as much when I'm with other people. And it's not because I don't want to be filmed. A lot of times I'm talking more to those people than I am to the camera. Alright, so I'm going to look around and see if I can find where the little use trail ascends down. I remember there's a use trail that goes down into the canyon. Let's see if I can remember where it was. Like I said, almost 3.5 years since I've been here. November of 2022. Find where it is. Not looking for anything big and challenging. Did a couple smaller hikes earlier, like I said, with a friend of mine, and so those videos will be up fairly soon, I imagine. But now, looking for something short and easy. See if I can find where the trail is. It's been a while since I've been here. Always could enter from one of the side streets. I'm parked on Claremont Mesa Boulevard here in Tierrasanta. Here we go. Here's a path. Should take me down to the canyon. You know, some scrub oaks on this side. I have to start looking for spotlight specimens soon too. It's been a while since I've done a spotlight video. Yeah, I see onion plants blooming. I can smell the sagebrush right now. Sagebrush and a little bit of the sage. The black sage is already starting to bloom, especially after an incredibly hot, I don't mean warm, I mean hot winter. Today, it's probably about 73. Maybe about 73 degrees. So it's still a little warmer than average today, but it's not like it was a few days ago when it was just downright, actually oppressive, even for summer standards. It was we actually had oppressive heat. Not just abnormal winter warmth, but actual oppressive heat. Temperatures in the 90s. The last couple days of February and the beginning of March. Yeah, gotta find out what species of onions these are. That's one thing. Since I don't usually get to see them too often, I get to experience them. See, that's a nice little use trail leads down into the canyon. Oh, the fragrance is incredible. It's been 2 weeks since we got the last rain, but despite the fact that it's been record hot this winter, it has not, and I repeat, has not been record dry. Quite differently, it's actually been, most areas are actually close to or even slightly above average precipitation-wise. Some areas are actually above average precipitation-wise due to select few storms that slammed us back in late December, early January, and mid-February. Or just after the start of the second half of February when we got slammed. Those are enough to take some areas to well above normal and some areas to about average for this time of year. However, if we don't get any more rain, at least in this area of San Diego County, south central and southwestern San Diego County, if we don't get any rain in March or April, then we might fall a little behind and end out the year slightly below average. But again, not record dry. Not record dry. I was kind of expecting to be record dry if it was going to be this record hot. Well, just about down here at the bottom of the canyon, ready for another hike here at East Shepherd Canyon. Been a few years since I've been here, so come along with me. If you can get past the sound of those loud Marine Corps jets from Marine Corps Air Station Miramar, we're going to have ourselves a nice little small hike here in the canyon. Alright, I think I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go left. Alright, I'm just going to enjoy this canyon. Alright. Oh, it's so fragrant. That black sage's fragrance is just intoxicating. And it's also the humid aromas of all the willows and stuff down here too. A lot of the deciduous shrubs and trees. Ooh. A scrub oak. Not too sure about this one. It looks like Quercus dumosa. However, usually don't see single trunk Quercus dumosas. Well, this one's forked at the bottom. This one's a little more arborescent than I'm used to on Quercus dumosa. But the size and the texture of the foliage kind of suggests it. Very interesting. Very interesting. Alright. Alright. So, yeah, I'm just looking for something nice and peaceful to get me another quick hike. This is my third short hike of the day. It's interesting, some of the brittle bushes here. I would want to jump and say, hey, Celia californica, California bush sunflower. But there's a lot of gray in the foliage of this one. This one kind of looks intermediate between Ensalia farinosa, the desert brittle bush, and Ensalia californica, the coastal California bush sunflower. This might actually have intermediate DNA. The leaves on this one are very much like Ensalia farinosa. Let me see if it has that same smell. Some dried dead leaves. Interesting. Very gray colored. A little grayer than I would expect on Ensalia californica. That would look like Ensalia farinosa. I think we got purple sage here too. Last time I was here, I didn't notice this. I'm not going to go too far off trail. Let me see. Oh, let's see if I can gently smell the leaves. Yeah, we got purple sage growing here too. Salvia leucophylla. Wow. Yeah, first time I was here, I didn't see it. It was before the rainy season. It was beginning of November of 2022, so everything was still dry from the summer before. That's nuts. So we've got purple sage growing here in East Shepherd Canyon. How interesting is that? Very interesting, actually. This leads up to a side street. Yeah. I always thought East Shepherd Canyon was cool, but I'd never been back here. before coming back, I wanted to explore the other canyons in the Tierrasanta area before coming back. See, I just saw it too. Now these here, this isn't Sallia californica. These here usually have a light to medium green color. So this isn't Sallia californica. Less of those light grayish bristly or little fuzzy hairs. Explaining the name farinosa for the desert brittle bush. Like flowery texture, or flowery, like F-L-O-U-R. Mealy texture of the foliage. These are a little fuzzy too in Sallia californica. They grow in a dry climate too, but Sallia farinosa tends to have more noticeable hairs. Now I remember this dishwater pond. Yeah, so we got more Salvia leucophila. Yeah, it's definitely not Cleveland sage. It looks very similar to the closely related Cleveland sage. But Cleveland sage has more of a perfume aroma, whereas purple sage has more of that real clean, more sagey aroma, if that makes sense. So here's Dishwater Pond. And I can see a lot of mosquito fish swimming around. There's a lot of mosquito fish in there. I bet you this would be bullfrog habitat. When you got a lot of these cattails and stuff growing, they tend to favor more rhinids than our native chorus frogs. Oh, there's western fence lizard. Hello, buddy. Look at that. Yeah, very beautiful lizard. Scaloporus occidentalis longipes. Looks like a handsome male too, representing. Very beautiful. So yeah, usually these type of water features, this is where I usually tend to see bullfrogs or large rhinids, as opposed to smaller chorus frogs and stuff like that. This gives a place for bullfrogs to hide and A, hide from larger predators, and B, since they're very large frogs, also a good place for them to hide and snatch up prey. This is usually where I expect to see the bullfrog, as opposed to a lot of our other natives. Most of our native frogs are smaller, like Baja chorus frogs, western toads. The bullfrog is a very large species of frog. Ah, look at the mallards. It's like they're racing each other. First one to the reeds win. That's so funny. Oh, boy. Hey, tripped over myself there. Ay, ay, ay. This thing is slippery. And my shoes weren't even wet when I came down this. Sorry, mosquito fish. That's what these guys are. All those things twinkling around, those are all mosquito fish. Gambusia affinis. Tripped over my own 2 feet. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to do a big hike. Just kind of want to do a nice nature video, I guess. Enjoying my canyon. Yeah, everything's budding out early this year. So it's been so incredibly, like I said, incredibly hot. Not just warm, but straight up August and September like weather. August and September are really hot months here in Southern California. And it was even above normal for September. In fact, the city of Escondido, north of here, hit 96 degrees, I think on the 28th of February. 96 degrees. That's above normal for, that's considered a heat wave in September, August standards. So yeah, it's pretty darn hot. Let's put it that way. All right, time for some photos and time to move around. Definitely feeling like spring. Yeah. School bells are blooming right now. Dipterostemum capitatus. Blooming right now. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a good wildflower season. Despite the hot weather, the warm temperatures are bringing an early start to a lot of our blossoms. Look at that, another guy. Look at that. I love lizards. If you've seen enough of my videos, you know I love lizards. Love lizards. Love herps, reptiles and amphibians. If you ever hear somebody say herp, that's referring to the combination of reptiles and amphibians. Herpetologist, somebody who studies reptiles and amphibians. Yeah. One of these days, I'm gonna have to come here at night. Just park on one of the side streets. See if I can hear the. Come in and see if I can hear the sounds of chorus frogs. Maybe, if I'm lucky, maybe even a western spadefoot, which is neither a true frog nor a true toad, but it is an amphibian. I think it's more aligned with toads than frogs, but I'm not sure. But it is an amphibian, four-legged amphibian without a tail, except in the tadpole stage. Yeah. New leaves already on the coast live oak. Look at that. Newest leaves are kind of purplish. These are probably very bitter and very unpalatable to animals like deer. Probably don't want anything to do with those new shoots. And since those new shoots are fresh, green, and tender, or fresh and tender, they're soft. The leaves aren't hard and spiky like the adult leaves are, the older leaves. So they're soft enough to be comfortably chewed by deer and other ruminants, but with that reddish purplish hue means it contains, I think, a lot of tannic acid in it. Makes it very unpalatable. And in a dry climate, trees expend a lot of energy on developing new foliage. So you don't want to waste your energy on something that's just going to get chomped away. And that's how you preserve it. Yeah, look at this. It's Italian stone pine growing right here. Very handsome tree too. Very handsome Pinus pinea here in East Shepherd Canyon. It's been so long since I've been here. Yeah, there's even a Canary Island pine growing in the middle of the canyon too. Right there. That one must have just got established by itself and liked where it was. Yeah. I can almost guarantee that one was a seed that germinated in an area that stays moist most of the year. So, yeah, a wild Canary Island pine just popping up. That's pretty cool. And of course, we have a lot of Eucalyptus comadulensis, red river gum, growing here as well. If anybody actually remembers my Shepherd Canyon video from 2022, over on the other side of the canyon, there are a lot of sugar gums, Eucalyptus cladocalyx, growing as well. And there's some other specimens of cladocalyx growing along here too as well, on this side of the canyon. But I didn't remember, a lot of purple sage growing here. I mean, a lot. There's quite a bit of it. Now, purple sage is a California native plant. It is native to Southern California. However, typically you got to go up to OC in LA County before you really start seeing it. Orange County and LA County is where you start getting it naturally. So it must have been planted. I know it does get planted as a revegetation product periodically here in San Diego County, and I've seen it in several spots. And it'll spread just like its cousins, the white sage and the black sage, which are San Diego County natives. It's pretty interesting. There's a bench. Looks like we got a couple of lizards chilling on the top of it. Yeah, they went down in here. Yeah, kind of wedged in between the post and the bench. So I'm gonna go sit down for a couple minutes, get something to drink. I've been very thirsty today, and I'll see you on the next clip. Oh, now we got an Aleppo pine in front of that eucalyptus. It might be kind of hard to see because the eucalyptus tree is much larger. There's this young Aleppo pine now. Right there. That conical shaped tree in front of the eucalyptus. Crazy. So that's 3 species of pine in the same group, the pinaster group, which is nuts. I'm gonna take this for a minute. Yeah, so that's 3 species of pines in the pinaster group. First saw an Italian stone pine, then a Canary Island pine, and now an Aleppo pine. They're all 3 close relatives in the same group, neither of which are native to Southern California by any stretch, but kind of interesting anyways to fathom. I wonder where this leads. I don't remember taking this the last time I was here. Oh yeah, here we go. Solanum parishii, Paris nightshade. Look at that. Those are striking. So we got a few species of purple flowered plants. Paris nightshade, school bells, several species of phacelia, and western blue-eyed grass. Those are species that have purple flowers, and well, those are types of plants that have purple flowers. Out of the phacelias, there are several species of those, whereas school bells, Paris nightshade, and western blue-eyed grass are 3 separate species. Okay, this just leads back to the main path, but an interesting diversion nevertheless. Doesn't hurt to always take an extra little. Doesn't hurt to take an extra little side trip when possible. And of course, don't forget Rhuus integrifolia, large part of the plant community here in coastal Southern California. They're already past the flowering stage already. Usually by now they'd still be flowering, but they are already fruiting. Usually that's what you'd expect in May or even June. And those are the drupes. Kind of flat-sided one way and kind of square shape the other way. That's crazy. I've been noticing that. A lot of them are fruiting already. You do get some nice specimens here of lemonade berry. It's always a top tier California native plant. Does extremely well in cultivation. And you can pretty much ignore it after it gets established. You can pretty much ignore a lot of our native plants. Just look at them. Plant them. You know, make sure you give them enough water to get established. And then, once they get established, maybe only supplemental moisture in really severe droughts. In the most severe droughts, maybe a little supplemental water here and there. Or if you want to extend some of the plant's blooming seasons. Other than that, very little care required. And Toyon, of course, Yeah, this canyon has a lot of very beautiful toyons. Towards the eastern part of this canyon, you're basically walking underneath the eucalyptus trees, but underneath them, the understory is basically a colonnaded toyon, which is very beautiful. Very beautiful. And it makes coming here so worth it. That's why I love these canyons. Ooh, somebody's cooking something that smells bomb. Smells something Asian. Something Asian with some hefty spice, maybe a little touch of curry. Whatever it is, it smells bomb. There's that. This Fremont cottonwood's already leafing out. That's crazy. It's been so dang warm and basically hot that these things are already blooming and leafing out. And there's a little interpretive plaque. That's about the Fremont cottonwood. Populus fremontii, subspecies fremontii. Then we got more bench chilling lizards. One of them was kind of shy and kind of shook the spot real quick, but look at this little guy. Yeah, not super photogenic either. Oh, no. Said the wrong term. Not quite, I'd say camera shy. Let's just say it that way. Oh, I'm not sitting on this thing. This thing is sketchy. That thing's gonna bust. It's rotted. Yeah, I remember this. This humongous Eucalyptus claticalix. Sugar gum. This thing is a regal giant. May not have extreme height to it, but it is pretty tall. Don't get it twisted. It's pretty tall regardless. But it just has the girth. This is a giant tree. This is a giant trunk. This trunk is wider than most of our larger species of mountain pines. I've seen these things get wider sometimes in the ponderosa pines in our mountains. It has just a magnificent tree from South Australia. I think it's endemic. I think it's completely endemic to South Australia. Eucalyptus claticalix. This is an absolute gargantuan tree. I said most of these over here, these are different. These are Eucalyptus comodulensis. These are river red gums. These are not local endemics to any one area. They're very widespread across Australia, across most, especially most inland Australia. I don't think they're quite as common to the coast in what I believe, but they're very common, especially across the outback. River red gum. But like I said, Eucalyptus claticalix is a much more narrow endemic species. Ooh, California rose. It's already well and leafing out already too. Rosa californica. Every now and then I'll come across some decent thickets of Rosa californica here in these canyons. Now, I see these things well above 6,000 feet in the mountains too. So it's another plant that occupies a quite wide elevational variability. Okay. Looks like we've got a water crossing here. Oh, there's a little bridge across it, so we're good. Yeah, we got a little bridge here. I gotta come here at night. Come here at night. I think I might have mentioned that on a previous clip. See if I can catch sight of some frogs or something. Frogs or toads. That would be so awesome. Yeah, last time I was here, this was all dry. It was the autumn after a very dry, rainy season. The autumn after a very dry, rainy season. So I didn't have water crossings. There was water in Dishwater Pond, but it wasn't flowing all over the place like it is now, which is great. I'd love to see it. Keep it coming. I said, hope to get some more rain. Hopefully in the second half of this month, I'm hoping. All right, well, I'm gonna keep on trekking. My turnaround point's coming up pretty soon. And we'll start heading back. And I'll see you on the next clip. Oh, there go the mosquito fish. You have to be able to see them on camera. They're all over the place. And these are not natives. These are not native fish. Western mosquito fish is not native. But it's always cool to see fish here in dry, lowland Southern California. It's always satisfying to see fish, in my opinion, native or not. All right, see you on the next clip. Gotta change the batteries. Yeah, I'm almost by Santo Road's just over there. Alright, so I'm getting close to the western edge of East Shepherd Canyon. I'm just going to take a quick little detour. Not going to go too far in. I don't want to step on all the vegetation. Very verdant. Very verdant over here. Very nice. Very verdant here. So yeah, despite it being so hot this winter, it was definitely not dry, not completely dry. I mean, we had lots of very long dry periods between the storms we got. We did have a lot of dry weather. It's just everything was concentrated in a few short periods of time. So here we are, just about at the terminus of East Shepherd Canyon at the corner of Antigua and Santo Road. Oh yeah, I remember this. There's a sugar bush over here. I remember this. This I remember. Russo Vada. The sugar bush here. So, the fact that we have its cousin, lemonade berry, very close cousin, lemonade berry growing here, wouldn't be surprised if there were going to be some hybrid offspring. Yeah, I remember first time I was here, listen to the sounds of the leaves flapping here on these bottle trees. This is the one with the smaller leaves. This is Brachychaeton poplinaeus, subspecies poplinaeus from Australia. Another Aussie tree that does well in our climate. Poplinaeus refers to its poplar-like foliage. Poplinaeus is poplar-like. Ooh, look at this rosemary. Look at this thing's in full bloom. It's a small one too. Ooh, that's so fragrant. Rosmarinus officinalis. Yeah. Which is actually a relative of that plant in the center of the camera. White sage, Salvia apiana. Rosemary is a non-native relative in the mint family, Lamiaceae. Here we are. I remember these cedar trees. Looks like these have gotten bigger. Yeah, these look like Cedrus atlantica glauca, the glaucus cultivar. Yeah, these are Atlas cedars here. Don't think these are deodars. Yeah, Cedrus atlantica glauca. And these are growing big too. They look like they're a little bit bigger than the last time I was here. These things are getting quite large. It's probably about 60 feet tall already. Pretty impressive. Beautiful trees. You know I'm a big fan of conifers. One of them's top is kind of dying back, but look at that. Yeah, I love cedars. Yep. East Shepherd Candy Native Plant Trail. Identification markers for 20 native California plants. Cool. Native plant trail. I actually have this at home. Shepherd Canyon Native Plant Guide. This was put together by the Girl Scout troops from this area. And they did a pretty bang up job. Pretty good job. Darn good job putting together a list of native plants. Really good job of like putting native plant identifications. Now that I'm pretty strong in a lot of our native plants, not all of them. I still have a learning curve. I definitely have a learning curve. There's still some stuff that I could stand to learn, and I love learning. There's one thing is, you should never want to stop learning. Never want to stop learning, because it's so exciting to discover new things, new ideas, find out about plants that I've never known about. Like, look at this. Remember when the first time I saw fuchsia flowered gooseberry. Well, this is not it here, right here next to it. This is fuchsia flowered gooseberry, Rhebia speciosum. This is chaparral bush mallow, Malacothamnus fasciculatus, variety fasciculatus. So they kind of grow and tangled up a little bit. And then, small hollyleaf cherry, always a plant that I love to encounter on my hikes. Yeah, Prunus ilicifolia. All right. Never get tired of it. Never get tired of learning. Yeah, look at this. This lemonade berry's really going ham with all its new fruit. That is so dang beautiful. Man, gosh, I love that stuff. All right, time to keep on trekking. See you on the next clip. Goes a red-shouldered hawk calling above the canyon. Come here to suburban San Diego. These little canyons in between the mesas. People who live on the rims of these canyons get to hear that every day. A red-shouldered hawk crying over the canyon. Life's good when that happens. That's the sound of nature right there. The sound of nature. And I'm glad to be here for it. When I'm here for it, it's awesome. Very nice. Very pleasant. Okay, we got some miner's lettuce here. Yes, indeed. Claytonia perfoliata, subspecies perfoliata. I can tell it's subspecies perfoliata because the leaves these leaves kind of radiate equidistant in all directions. Now, if you saw that same plant, but it goes wider than long, longer one direction and shorter the other, you'd be looking at Claytonia perfoliata subspecies mexicana. I typically see subspecies perfoliata more frequently, but I think I remember coming across mexicana a couple times. See this lemonade berry's still blooming. Actually still got a lot of buds left on it. I always wonder if these had a fragrance. I don't want to get too close. There's some bees right there. Can't smell anything. Yeah, this one's still blooming. It's good to see that, actually. So today I will have recorded 4 videos. 2 shorter hiking videos, 1 really short video at a vista point in Cleveland National Forest, and then this video, which will probably be more moderate length. Another trail going up this way. Wonder where that goes. When I'm here, I may as well explore it. Just out of curiosity. Just for the heck of it. Well, it goes this way. Looks like it goes up this way. Oh, we got a tripartite intersection here. Got a part going this way, a really faint one going up the hill that way, and this one branching off to the left. Well, I guess check it out while I'm here. I'm assuming this just leads up to the backyards and stuff. But it doesn't hurt to check it out a little bit. Looks like it does a switch back over here. There's a drainage culvert here. This is interesting. Wonder where this goes. Well, let's check it out. Let's check it out for the heck of it. Right here, may as well see where it goes. Yeah, here's the little faint cutoff. That's from once I came. Yeah, this isn't really a trail though. It's kind of a scuffed in path. And there was the other trail that was going off to the left. Not sure where that's going. I wonder if it's going to meet up with this one. I guess I'll find out, possibly. Just keep exploring. Seems to lead up to a cul-de-sac or something. Interesting. There's something over here. I think an entrance. Interesting. leads up to this little right-of-way here. Interesting. Huh. Not sure what street that is. I'll have it typed in. Interesting. This little right-of-way to a cul-de-sac. Okay, glad I explored this little bit. Jade plant. Yeah, that last plant. Like a Southern California Channel Islands endemic. Channel Islands mallow. So I'll go see where that other trail leads. I'm gonna go down this, explore that little spot there, and see where that leads as well. Okay, almost back down to the bottom. This access trail. Let's go see where this goes. This could be interesting. Another little footpath here. Still very damp here from the rains a couple weeks ago. I wonder where this is going to go. Yeah, it's all stuff I never explored the first time I was here. So it's always good to check out more stuff. Western blue-eyed grass. Syzygium bellum. Cool. Finally got to see one up close. Well, I saw one earlier, but it was when I wasn't filming. And we got more here too. Got a little population growing here. Look at that. What a satisfyingly beautiful plant. Cool. Wow. That was pretty cool. There's more of it growing here too. I tend to like these grassier locations. Looks like this one just goes back downhill. Maybe it leads back to the bottom, maybe. I'm just glad I'm exploring another piece of this canyon. Some stuff blooming over there. Some white blooms. There's no way that could be coastal chamise blooming already, is it? It looks like chamise blooming. You can see some cream colored blooms on the shrubs over there. It looks like chamise already blooming. And March? That's pretty insane if that's the case. I don't know. Ish. I don't think there's any trail going that close to it though. And now we're at yet another one of those purple flowered favorites. School bells again. Another monocot plant. But yeah, it looks like there's a little patch of chaparral right underneath De Portola Middle School. and it looks like the chamise is already blooming. Probably think it's June. Well, it's probably the coastal variant. I'm assuming it's probably Adenostum fasciculatum variety obtusifolium. But again, I'm not going to break trail to go up there. I'm staying on trail in these little canyons because they are protected open spaces. But it looks like the chamise is blooming already. Could be obtusifolium. I think it does sometimes come this far inland. Usually when I get over towards Mission Trails, over that way, it's usually the regular variant. Yeah, this just leads back to the main canyon path. You know, it's definitely a worthwhile diversion. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely a worthwhile side trip, in my opinion. I'm gonna start heading back. Try to see if I can get on the freeway before rush hour kicks in, and start heading back. 3 short hikes, not bad. I need to be out here though. Yeah, so I wonder if there's chamise blooming up there already. Like a really small patch of chaparral growing up on that hillside. That's crazy. Yeah, so there's a small patch of chaparral up there. There's very little chaparral in this canyon. So a few chaparral shrubs do pop up, like scrub oak. Scrub oak pops up here and there. But yeah, I think on the other side is definitely some scrub oak, and appears to be blooming chamise already in March, before the spring equinox. So I'm pretty sure that's what that was. All right. Well, keep on moving along. There's that bench where I took a break. And another nice short trip out here in Tierrasanta. So I'm at a junction again. I'm gonna do what I did. Ooh, Audubon's cottontail. Look at that. Hello, buddy. Springing on out of here. Okay, so that's from whence I came. But I'm gonna go up this way. I did this the last time, if I remember correctly. I think I went up this trail to get back up to the canyon rim. Just to vary up the scenery a little bit. Wow. These willows are really leafing out. Looks like it probably gets pretty muddy here sometimes too. Yep. A lot of coyote brush here too. Baccharis pillaris consanguinea. However, looks like we got willow baccharis here too. It's like Baccharis salicina over here. Two close relatives. And broom baccharis, Baccharis saurothroides. Well, that one that's willow baccharis does have a chance of being the hybrid between the two, coyote brush and broom baccharis, but it does look convincingly like it. Okay, see, that's where I was earlier. This time, I'm taking this trail up towards the rim of the canyon. Should let me out in the eucalyptus grove. Sugar gums, Eucalyptus cladocalyx, should lead me up there, whereby I'll finish my hike and be back in the park where I'm parked, and that's it. All right, see you on the next clip. Nice views up here. I just passed through some nice lemonade berry. All right. This one gets us up towards the rim pretty quickly. Here's a scrub oak. Oh, nice one. This one appears to be an acutidens. Probably from the acutidens / Burberifolia. Definitely not Dumosa. These are too long. These are too large for that. Yeah, that's a nice one. Almost at the park. You're almost back. That's the middle school still. Looking northeast. Good view of North Fortuna Mountain. Right there. Right there. Yeah. That's so cool. That's a good view of it. Over Mission Trails Regional Park. Yeah. This is the higher rim here. The other rim is actually further back in the neighborhood. This rim abuts the middle school and Tierrasanta Rec Center. Yeah, the rim of the north rim of the canyon is actually more, more over that way in the neighborhood. Northern Tierrasanta. So at least with this one, climbing up to this rim gives you more elevation gain. Unless you feel like walking on surface streets the other side. I think this side is slightly higher here, I'm not sure. Looks like it might be. Now we just walk through this eucalyptus cladocalix grove to close out yet another hike. Actually, I think I'll follow this a little bit further. There's no access over there. I don't think. No, that's a gate. It's a nice little enchanted way to end it. A beautiful north-facing slope. The eucalyptus cladocalix woodland. So let's end this out on a peaceful note. Just watch your step so you don't trip over the pipes in the ground. All right. I can't even talk. Shall see you up there pretty soon, within a minute or two. Okay, well, back at the canyon rim. Pretty nice. Just gotta walk along the fence for a few minutes until I come across the walkway, which is just over there. Wow. Yikes. Okay. Let's follow this walkway back to the parking area. Yeah, I gotta admit, it's pretty nice to get out and get in a third small hike in today. Some Tipu, South America, and some American sweet gum. Alright, that's basically going to do it for me. Thanks for coming along, and hope you enjoy the video. I'll see you on my next hike.